Indians and the Tides of Empire. Originally, the title is The Kelings and the Tides of Empire. They give contribution. There is that kind of positive image. This word has become a racial slur. So yeah, within all these mentions, classify it, based on the usage of the word. And there are massive amount of geographical identification, Benua Keling, right? Masjid Keling, Tanjung Keling, Kedai Keling, all of this kind of identification, spread not only in Malay world, not only in Malaysia or Strait settlements, but also in Indonesia, in Sumatra, in Java, in Sulawesi. Yeah, as you see, I include the names of the places over there. So even until now, if you go to these places, you can still find, the word Keling as a place, spatial, identification. And nobody knows anymore why this road name's Keling, why this place named Keling, nobody knows anymore. What is the history behind this? Yeah. So yeah. And then, and from the image that was delivered within all this record is that positivity, right? I classify over there, they were called hero, warrior, merchant, Sultan, Raja, Mangkubumi, Prime Minister, Shah Bandar, chieftain, from the trader, religious figure, royal scribes, the ship captain, the commander, Commodore Fater. Fater is especially, quite common to be used in South India, and that is Pondicherry, the Tranquebar areas. Orang Kaya Bakti, native royal descendants, Kapitan, Wayang, entertainer, soldiers, Raden. You see, some of the Keling were also called Raden because they integrate themselves, marry with interlocal, and they were known, by using this kind of local honorable title, right? Okay. So I go beyond, of course, European sources like Tome Pires, Thomas Bowry, or Thomas Forrest, this guy, the classical guys, their accounts, of course, they mention about Keling and Qualins. But I would like to go beyond that, providing you something that maybe you've never heard before, right? Tome Pires and the rest of the guys is too common to be, quoted by many scholars already. But this, I don't believe many scholars, able to, to know about this. Because the original hikayat itself has been pretty damaged, and this extraction was preserved by one of the disciples somewhere, in the beginning of 20th century. So disciples of the, scholars in Leiden, Indonesian from Maluku. So I would like to read you this one, that, Lalu Mihri Jiguna, this is in Malay, right? Okay, and Valentine called it one of the most accurate hikayat preserved in 17th century, right? Coming from 17th century. So he said, Lalu Mihri Jiguna, this is an actor, he's the guy, the main protagonist in that hikayat. So he was called, Lalu Mihri Jiguna tanya kepada jenderal, kapan semuanya itu hendak kemana? Maka kata jenderal, the Dutch general, kapal itu hendak ke Melaka, ada ke Jambi, ada ke Laut Merah, ada pula ke negeri Hollandes, ada ke Bandar Masil Patani. Bandar Masil Patani is Masulipatam in Coromandel Coast. This is one of the famous ports in the Coromandel Coast. Okay? Maka kata Mihri Jiguna, beta minta kepada jenderal sementari lagi lambat musim. Beta hendak turut kapal yang ke Bandar Masil Patani. Mau melihat dunia tanah Keling. Barang seadanya hidupku sehingga datang musim barat. Telah demikian itu berapa lamanya datang ke tanah Keling kepada negeri Tunah Patnam. Tunah Patnam is another name. I think now it's not existed anymore, but it is in Coromandel Port, in Coromandel Port too, because Tunah Patnam, I think we have to find the original names of this, but this Nam, kind of identical to many ports names in Coromandel Port. Okay. Maka naik ke darat berjalan ke negeri Puchijiri. Puchijiri is Pondicherry. Pondicherry. It's also the coastal area. I will show you the map later on. Menebus dengan harganya 2 real seorang. Ada tengah 3 real. Ada menjual dirinya sendiri, ada menjual anaknya. As this is the trade and the transport, fee, right? Setelah menebus itu, maka belayar dari Puducherry lalu kepada Tiru Bambu, dan Tiru Mulawasit, dan Kunmuri, lalu kepada Nagapattinam. Ya. Nagapattinam is now over there. Daripada Ferengi duduk di situ, maka dinamai Santumi. Santumi is San Thomas. Ya, San Thomas, even now you can still, if you search Google, you know it is located in the South India. Ya. Adapun Santumi itu ada suatu bukit, maka didirikan gerajanya akan tempat berhalanya. Yeah, and all of this, yeah, there are so many names, yeah, so many names that has mentioned in this quote alone. And I take it, to as a proof, as evidence that to map where is, the Tanah Keling, the Benua Keling came from, So this is, and also this is to answer to the debate at the time among scholars, because there are many scholars such as, for instance, J.J. Ras, and Shriek, kind of debating on the origins of the Keling. Some of them say the origin of the Keling is coming from Kediri, Java. Some of the scholars saying that it come from the Coromandel Coast. So I intervene, the debate by coming up with those, with the quotation from 17th century local hikayat written in Malay. Okay, so this is the trade route, right? This is the cycle, the long cycle that, lasted for many centuries. Like this. This is how the South Indian, traveling, trading, making a voyage, yeah, to the Southeast Asia, right? So we talk about South India, Coromandel ports. It's located right here. This is right here, all this coastal area, and here's Sri Lanka, and it goes here, Aceh, right? This is Sumatra, this area all, they have the valuable forest products and minerals too. And from here, it goes to the Malaysia. Yeah, Malaysia and Thailand over there. And it go back to the Coromandel ports. So that is the cycle. The cycle going like this. The cycle going like this. Okay, for many centuries. So this is also maybe the reason why you kind of see some kind of similarities in your culture. If you go to South India, for instance, Kayapattinam, Kerala, Malabar, you kind of see, oh, this is the same like from my hometown, all these sarungs, right? The type of the foods, the culinary, something like that. So yeah.